Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. We seem to be... Yeah, that's Arch telling me we are. The camera seems to be at an angle. That's better. Right, we're unboxing one of my 1 in 700 ships that I bought probably a month ago, maybe a bit longer. HMS Sheffield. You could do as HMS Coventry as well. We lost both ships in the Falklands War. Type 42 destroyers, and they're from the batch 1, so they were the first ships that we had. I believe they were used as picket ships a lot. Unfortunately they're like first in line when the Argentine Skyhawks and that come over. And some of them, I won't go into it all because I'll mess it all up, you know, and I don't want to do that out of respect for the crews of the ships. But yeah, you know, just there was things that went wrong and whatever, just malfunction. You know, when and I'm not taking it away, you know, from the Skyhawk pilots. You know, they're strapped in in a jet, and yeah, they're the enemy, but you know, they did their thing. But unfortunately, as I say, for our guys, things, as I say, different things all came together in once. You know what I mean? If that didn't happen, this wouldn't have happened. You know, when it's a chain of events that normally lead to something like this, and in both ships' case, it really was. You can make either HMS Coventry with this, although I can't see why that's Coventry. Sheffield with this. I can't see why you couldn't make Coventry either. Or you can, I have to read the names here, and I haven't got my glasses on. You can make Hercules, which was, we actually built 2 of these ships for the Argentinian Navy, and they were the escorts for the 25th of May, their aircraft carrier, which was also an ex-British aircraft carrier from the 1940s or 50s. But when we sunk the General Belgrano, which was an ex-American heavy cruiser, they returned to port, and they didn't come out again, which was the whole idea of why we sunk the Belgrano. But these are, you know, when people say Grail kits, I really like my post-war ships, but particularly Royal Navy ships. And not just always Royal Navy, as I say, there are other ships I'd like to get at some point. But I also like World War II ships. I like all ships, I always have done. But people go on about Grail kits, and although I'm a figure painter stroke modeler, so you know, you couldn't call me a hardcore modeler, so I wouldn't say I had particular Grail kits until I realised that these 2 were on the market. Then they became Grail kits, and it's taken. I mean, this is for the 40th anniversary of the Falklands War. It's from their Scale Modern Sea Power series in 1 in 700 premium edition, which means it has a bit of photo etching. I don't believe it has enough photo etch for me to build it yet. I'd have to save me pennies and hope. I believe there's a couple of companies do photo etch for this kit, and for the Type 21, which I've also got, which we'll see on a later video. But when I saw these at the Telford Scale Model Show, and there's a guys that belong to a SIG group, special interest group on Navy. Well, I think it's just naval ships, but I think they cover all scales when I see them there. You know, from the 1 in 3. I've never seen any of the really big scales. Was it 1 in 200s? But the 1 in 350s. But it seems to be mostly 1 in 700s. And I saw these, and I just absolutely loved them. You know, the ships of this era I really like. I would love to do the resin ones, especially like the 1 in 350s. But I think Atlantic sell them for around 130 quid, something like that, and that's a lot of dough for me for one ship. Maybe one day when when my boat comes in, but at the moment, that's not to say I might not get one of their Hunt class minesweepers. But at the moment, we'll make do with these guys. So This was around £23 or £26. I suppose slightly more expensive than you'd want to pay. It has got a bit of photo etching of some ship's railings and things like that, and I believe you know, when you've got head problems, I've got books on the Type 42s, and I know all the radar fit, and do you think I can think of the damn radar fit now in my head? Anyway, you get radar bits and pieces with it as well. So that's probably why it's the £26. The Type 21 I've had to buy second hand. Somebody would have to, and I didn't think, I just put a bid. I don't normally bid, as you know, because I never win anything, but I did put a bid on it, and I was the only bidder for what I think first time in about 5 years I've ever actually won anything, and I got that probably about 4 weeks ago. I love all the ships of this era. I love going back to the Leander class and the Rothseas. I love all the minesweepers. As I say, I would build a daring class destroyer like Type 45s and all that, but I'm not as keen because I just don't. I don't know. I just don't like the anti-radar whatever shape of the ships these days. They don't do it for me as much as these post-war, say 1960s upwards ships. So anyway, I'm waffling, aren't I? It's a gav video. What else would I be doing? Let's go and take a look. Right guys, here we are. I'm not going to go into specifics. I do know it, but my head's really sketchy, and if I don't, I'll say things are wrong. Under these domes are obviously radars. Again, when I start making these, I will write some proper bullet points, because obviously I've got mental health problems and my memory keeps going in and out as it is doing now, and I lose all. Just, you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so we won't go on about weapons fit. One thing that does stand out on Sheffield, I can't remember with Coventry or not off the top of my head, is you see these like Mickey Mouse ears on the funnel. Later ones didn't have that. The black band down the middle was to show a difference between her and Coventry and the two Argentinian Type 42s, Hercules, and I don't know if it's got on the other side. No, I can't remember off the top of my head. Probably got it written down in the notes. So that was an identification marker. The black one along the top, I don't know if the artist has put that on. I don't think that was an identification marker. I might be wrong. The Royal Navy used a line on the top of the funnel to denote a flotilla leader, and a smaller, thinner one, I believe, for like a half flotilla leader, like a 2IC. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it's all about. So we'll go into other specifics when I finally get round to the build. But as you can see, big box, little kit. Right, again, I can't remember the ancestry of the kit. It's a Dragon kit, but I believe it was made by a company called Pit Road, which I believe was Japanese. 100% sure. This was at least printed in Austria, I think. You get photo etch with it. As you can see, it's mainly ship's railings. We'll have a look at that in a minute, and some radar fit. The artwork, I should have said, the big ship in the background, that's a what they call them? Oh, these tourist boats, what are they? Head problems again. Anyway, that's the Canberra. She was known by the fleet as a Great White Whale. She was, apart from some naval ratings on board, she was used as a troop ship. What the British do, because we're always cheap, we don't have, like the Americans, a huge amount of ships to move people about. So they're called taken up in trade. The government has a pre-calling on ships to literally take them out of trade and use, and the Royal Navy uses them. We had literally, I think almost the entire ship's company, all civilians, volunteered to go to the Falklands and serve there. Women, men, it was fantastic what those guys did, and I don't think they get enough credit. We always remember obviously our service personnel, but these guys went to war as civilians on a great big white cruise liner was the word I was after. Sorry guys, head's really sketchy. In the background we've got HMS Invincible, which was our through-deck cruiser, as I'm a very mini aircraft carrier. I believe this is Coventry, which is Sheffield's sister ship in the background. It's all a bit of a mishmash. There's no way that Invincible was ever near this area, but you know, artistic license. Colours, aqueous hobby colour, well, a Mr. Colour, Model Master colour. So as usual, I'll just do whatever I've got on my. I don't go with particular colours of companies. I just put on what I happen to have. Very, I think, clear designs. Yeah, whatever, you know what I'm on about. The difference with the Argentinian ships as well is towards the rear of the ship. They were fitted with Exocet missiles as well, which made them even more potent compared to ours. Looks like it's a fold-out instruction sheet. Again, it's telling you you're going to have to widen bits and cut out bits. For this area is where the Exocets were on the Argentinian ships, and here's an Exocet launcher. So you'll have spares if you're a 1 in 700 guy, if you're not going to do it as an Argentinian. Mine will be in the water, so I won't be bothering with propellers and things like that. It was really the last time we carried ship's boats in the Royal Navy, apart from those rigid inflatables they have now. They found that they were quite top heavy, and I'm not sure as well with the fuel and everything else on board if that caused a problem as well. There was a lot of talk about the ships were made of too much aluminium. They seem to melt really easy. I've got a book on the Type 42s, and they said, to be honest with you, that's a bit of in the author's opinion anyway, it's a bit of a fallacy. There was some weight saving use of aluminium, but not half as much as that was in, say, the Type 21 frigates. But as you can see, you can do waterline or on a little base. This will give us a better look at our options. So there's Sheffield. And as you can see, not a huge difference with the Hercules, apart from those Exocet launchers, which are, where are they, Gav? We'll zoom here. There we go. So here, I believe, are your Exocet launchers. So that's that. Let's go quick look at this, because I just happened to have it. This is the photo etch. Not a huge amount. I mean, it's not a big ship. Looking through I haven't actually opened this yet. Looking through the plastic, the detail is actually really good. So maybe you won't need brass ship stores, but there's no ladders or anything there. So I probably will save up the pennies and get an upgrade set for her, depending on what I see on the upgrade set, and you know, if I think it's worth it. Decals are fairly plain. I'm not going to get them out. These, I believe, are normally for arcs of fire for the main armament. Ship's names, helicopter landing disc, and 2 ensigns. Right, always check your bags, because I've got a little piece which looks some type of radar fit lolling around in the bottom of the bag. So be careful when you when you throw your bags out, because there's always something in the bottom. I was looking at these through the plastic earlier, and I really thought what a really nice bit of detail. I'm building HMS Kent 1 in 350 scale. from Trumpeter, and I don't believe the level of detail on the superstructures here is half as good. They have gone to downtown to put the shapes are more than shapes, if that makes sense. I'm very pleased with that detail wise. Sorry, that's somebody video bombing us. I mean, I can't tell you until I actually start looking at instructions. I do know bits and pieces, but as I say, ship's ladders up the funnel. They stand out slightly. To be honest with you, I don't think that's that bad. We'll see what the photo etch companies look like before I purchase any. I know there's I don't know if I know there's a box for the Type 21. As you can see, we can put her in on a sea base, which is what I'll do. She's only got one anchor, and she carries the other one at the front of the bridge structure, at the base of the bridge structure. A spare one, I should say. Again, I think that's a really nice detail. And davits for the ship's boats. These look like, I think they look like 20mm anti-aircraft guns. They did have a couple, I believe. We were seriously under represented with that aircraft, anti-aircraft guns. This looks like they've got they might have the 20 or 30mm as well. It looks like there's a lot represented here because I'm looking at the turrets. If you look how many turrets we've got there. If you're doing a bit of scratch building, I wouldn't mind scratch building one of these, I must admit. We've got small Gemini inflatable dinghies, which I believe she carried a couple. Got a Lynx. I mean, that's some nice detail on the Lynx. One of the earlier Lynxes, before you get that wildcat look to them. Ship's barrels. Again, I don't think that's that bad over a brass barrel. Is it worth it? We'll see. We've got more different types of inflatables. In fact, that's the same sprue. So that'll be interesting. I don't know if we'll be using any others out of that. Doesn't look like it. It seems like you get a duplicate sprue there. Oh well, we'll see. If not, I feel some scratch building coming on. We've got our full hull with obviously, oh, that's a stand gaff. There's the hull. If you want to do it full hull, we've got our different sonar bulges. Good thing with that as a ship's nameplate, you don't have the, you know, when a lot of them like Trumpeter put the scale on and things like that. So yeah, that's all prop shaft detail. We've got another turret there. Looks like the Crichton type turret. I think they just rammed everything on here. We've obviously got bits of sprue that may be from other kits, so cut out. I don't know. So that's it. There seems to be a lot of sprue that you're not actually going to use. Got a couple of links. Right, let's put that on there. So I will have a look at, I'll definitely be getting the Type 21s. It looks a nice upgrade set for the Type 21. I couldn't see why the 42 wouldn't be any different. I can't go rushing out. I mean, they're all about 20 odd pound, so I can't go rushing out and buy them all at once, but I'll take a look. As I say, the side detail on the superstructure I think is really well represented. So maybe we don't have photo etch. I don't know yet, I'm not sure. We'll have a cross that bridge when we come to it. But there we go, 1 in 700 scale HMS Sheffield, or the Hercules from the Armada Republica Argentina. So but they stretch these on later batches. They made them longer, so there's I think is it 4 you can make. I'm sure if it's 4 of the early ones, the shorter ones, you can make. I would imagine, because there wasn't a great deal of difference. So the Mickey Mouse ears don't have to be on. So they've given you, because of the Argentinian vessel. Well, the Argentinian vessel's shown them, so they've got them as well. Anyway, I believe you don't have to show them anyway if you wanted to make one of the others. So that's a gift for you if you didn't want to make Sheffield. But I'd love to make Sheffield as a tribute to the guys that were lost, the guys that were wounded, and the guys that came home. And probably have a lot of nightmares over what happened. So to those guys, I would like to make that and dedicate it to them. So it won't be coming up just yet. Obviously, I'm still doing HMS Kent. She's cracking on, and you'll get an update on her on Sunday. I'm painting all the superstructure by hand, as in the deck structure. Of course, I flick paint in different places and having to try and paint it out. So all my lovely spraying work that I've done on the main base coat, on the superstructure, on the sides of the superstructure, I'm having to keep messing things about. But oh well, it's a learning curve. I said it was my first one since I was a kid, so it's taking its time. But yeah, we're getting somewhere with HMS Kent now. I had a big break from her. Keep getting lost in other projects, but I really do like my shipbuilding. So I'm getting back onto Kent now, and I want to push her through until completion. So join me on that one in probably Sunday. I've said to myself, if I can get these superstructures painted and stuck down by Sunday, I will do so. Or I might just give you an update. I'll just plonk them on, just so you get an update, just so I can say, well, this is where I am with the ship, because there's a load more still to do on it. I've got ship's railings, support stanchions for like things that these stick out here. There's stanchions which seem supported on here. I've left those deliberately off. They did tell me to glue them down, but I thought no, I'd leave them off till the last minute. So yeah, loads of stuff to do on that yet, but I wanted to have a look at Sheffield. HMS Antelope will be coming up next week. My other 1 in 700 kit, sadly lost in the Falklands War, along with HMS Ardent, her sister ship. So yeah, tune in for that one as well if you're interested in these ships. As I say, around 23 to 26 quid. I got mine from E-Models, no connection to them, just telling you where I've gone from. The Antelope I got from eBay. These were like hen's teeth. I've wanted these now for about 3 years, and I couldn't get hold of them unless you paid stupid money. So I would suggest, if you're interested in something this size and of this, this particular ship, one of the sister ships, then get them while they're out there, because you know what it's like. It could be years before you see them again. Hopefully, I'm hoping, crossing fingers, they bring the Type 20 out. I don't know why the Type 21's hard to find. If they've brought these back, and I believe they brought HMS Invincible out as well. So, and I wouldn't mind getting Invincible as well. But if they brought those out, I'd really like to see some. I just love them all, to be honest with you. Type 21s, I'd really like to get a couple of Type 21s in the stash, so I can build different variants of them. And the Type 21 as well, they allow you, the early ones had a Corvus launcher, which is just an anti-missile decoy flare launcher type thing, but later ones had the Exocets on, that I've just shown you with the Argentinian Type 42. So you get a whole range that you can make from the type leader, which was Amazon, I believe, which actually did a walk around on her when I was a kid. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with these without doing a huge amount of rejigging, if that makes sense. Well, you just saw the amount of blooming turrets you've got in this one. So yeah, and I would imagine you could stretch these if you've got the. I don't believe I've got the skills yet to stretch these. I could make a stretched version, a rough one, out of plastic card, I reckon, because I have been considering it, using this as a template. But I would hate to cut a beautiful kit like this up and stuff it up. So if I do a stretched version, the longer versions, I will scratch build it. We shall see. Look after yourselves, guys. Take care. I'm waffling. I know it's what I do on the channel. We all know it. So thank you for stopping by and taking a look. Another ship, as I say, HMS Kent. We're going all at sea this week. HMS Kent will be up for an update on her on the weekend. I will have Napoleonic Cavalry either up at the weekend or probably Monday or Tuesday. We'll have a couple more Hussar figures done and a couple of other videos up in the week as well on other subjects. Look after yourselves, have a good weekend, and we'll speak soon.